Hi, Bob Armstrong, Oasis Ministries Canada, with another practical tip on how to manage our current reality with the COVID-19 virus. Building on the last two tips of how to manage marriage during COVID-19, tip number 7 is about effectively dealing with marriage conflict. The shortest war on record was fought between Zanzibar and the UK in 1896. Zanzibar surrendered after 38 minutes. That's sure a lot shorter duration than the 3 days it used to take my wife and I to deal with conflict early in our relationship. Without a clear understanding of the original meaning of the word civil, at first glance it appears the concept of a civil war is an oxymoron. I mean, wars are never civil. For tired and stressed out couples, conflict in marriage can feel like a war zone, and sadly, like in war, there are often casualties, but it need not be that way. Here are a number of tips about effectively dealing with marriage conflict. Understand conflict is a normal part of any relationship, especially the marriage relationship, because you can't live with a person and not step on each other's toes from time to time. And in these COVID-19 days, you are spending a lot of time together. The more time you spend together, the more opportunities you have to step on each other's toes. Conflict may be comfortable or uncomfortable, depending on a person's personal experience with it. Create a safe environment where conveying potentially threatening or negative information is acceptable. Understand that you are responsible for the manner in which you speak. Our words are to be carefully chosen, and we are to attack the issue and not the person. Encourage your partner for sharing their concerns by affirming their courage to speak up. And guard against criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling, which will sabotage all efforts to resolve conflict constructively. Here are a number of additional tips to managing marital conflict. Identify the issue. Stop long enough to get in touch with what pushed your buttons. Because anger can appear in a split second, it's easy to miss the hurt underneath it. Hold up the mirror. Ask yourself if you have contributed to the conflict. Self-confrontation precedes confrontation with another. Choose an appropriate location. Address concerns in private in order to avoid public humiliation. Choose the right time. Choose a time when you can both give your undivided attention to the issue at hand. Late in the evening is not a good time for my wife to engage me about matters of the heart. Although she comes alive after 10 p.m., I'm shutting down and not in a good place to give 100% attention. Affirm the relationship. Come with the attitude that we are committed to this relationship, that we don't like the conflict between us, and we want to resolve it so we can move forward. Take turns sharing your views. Listen for the words being spoken and the feelings behind them. When the one speaking is finished, the listener can give them a summary of what they had just heard as confirmation that they have listened. This gives the message that you care. Determine not to be thinking of a response while the other person is talking and missing something being said. Keep it to the here and now. Don't use yesterday's problems as today's ammunition. Stick to the issue of concern. Guard against bringing up other conflicting issues at the same time. If another unresolved issue arises during this time, put it to the side and come back to it another time. Don't counterattack. If your spouse initiates a legitimate complaint, do not respond with some tit-for-tat style of dealing with conflict where you say, well, you're just as bad. Look what you did. When? Deal with it quickly. Harboring resentment against your partner always finds a way to express itself, often in a less than healthy way. Avoid character analysis. Attack the issue and not the partner's character. Say what is wrong with what your partner did, not what is wrong with them. Always strive for a win-win. When the solution works for both, it works for the marriage. Brainstorm for possible solutions. You show respect for each other's input by being open to influence. Practice forgiveness. This is a practice we all need to learn because there will be plenty of occasions where we will need to ask for forgiveness and plenty of occasions where we will have to offer forgiveness. The wise King Solomon said, "A quick-tempered man does foolish things." Solomon also said, "When words are many, sin is not absent." And he said, "A fool gives full vent to his anger, but a wise man keeps himself under control." The evidence is clear. When it comes to marital conflict, anything is better than walking on eggshells for 3 days like my wife and I did early in our marriage. Applying these tips during COVID-19 and in the future could transform your relationship into the one that you've always longed for. I'm Bob Armstrong, Oasis Ministries, Canada. If you'd like to learn more about having a healthy marriage relationship, I would encourage you to go to www.couplecare.ca and order the book called Along the Way. I'll be back in a couple of days with another practical tip on managing life during the COVID-19 virus.